By now you've probably used layers enough in GIMP to realize that it can be a little bit tricky to edit pictures when you're using layers. I want to show you an example that you will use on the next assignment for GIMP. And in this assignment you're going to combine elements from two pictures. You're going to bring in basically a piece of one picture and stamp that into a new picture. I'm going to show you a couple tricks that'll make this as easy as possible, but keep in mind that we're getting into some advanced editing and it's going to take some work. You're going to have to pay attention to what you're doing. Follow the directions in the assignment, because what I'm doing is an example and you're actually going to add two animals to a picture. I'm just going to do one. I'm going to a folder on my computer and I'm going to open these two pictures. I have a hallway picture from the school and I have a picture of a zebra. I'm going to right click on that, and remember, if you just pick Edit with GIMP, it should bring that into GIMP. Notice that it's right there. Makes it an easy way to open pictures. I'm going to do the same thing with the zebra. Then I'm going to close that folder. Now in your assignment you'll notice those pictures that you can use are on the P drive, and those pictures are already the right size for you to edit. Alright, so you have two pictures open that you like, that you're going to combine. Here's what you need to do. Find the one that's the background of your picture, where you're going to put the animals, and we are going to add a new layer. Remember that to add a new layer you click this button right here. Last time I didn't stress this, but why don't we today rename that layer? I'm going to call it zebra, and click OK. Now I have a zebra layer that is clear. Now go back to the zebra picture, and what I'm going to do is zoom in. I'm going to put that at 100 at least. I might have to zoom in more depending on how careful I want to be. And I am going to snip that zebra roughly from the picture. Notice on your toolbox you have some tools for selections. I'm going to use this one, which is called the Free Select tool. It lets you select in a free shape. And I am going to outline the zebra. I'm not worrying too much about it being perfect, but I'm tracing around the zebra, making sure not to cut any part of the zebra out. Everything will be inside of my free selection. I'm going to come around, and if I join those together, it automatically selects, turns into a selection. You can see the crawling ant trail, as they call it. If you don't quite connect those, you have to do a double click at the end to bring those together. Now here's what I'm going to suggest to make this easy today. You're going to go up to Edit and just say Copy, or you can do a Control-C if you like that. Go back to the other picture. Make sure, okay, try and keep your life easy, make sure you are on your new layer, your zebra layer. And I'm going to do Edit and Paste. There's my zebra in the hallway. Sort of. There's all kinds of stuff with the zebra that we're going to have to trim out, but at least we got it there. Now look at the layers. This is important to notice. Your zebra is not currently on the zebra layer yet. Instead, it's a floating selection up here. What I'm going to suggest is you move this floating selection to about where you want it. I'm going to want it here so that we don't see his legs are cut off. Maybe we'll put it there, just like that. Then, if it's about where you want it, you have to anchor that floating layer, because here's your floating selection layer. You have to anchor it onto the next layer down, and you do that very easily by clicking on this anchor button. As soon as you do that, the zebra is now stamped down on that transparent layer. It's very easy for me to go in now with an eraser tool and trim out this extra picture that needs to go. So I'm going to do that. I'm zooming in at 200% so I can really see this zebra's face. And I'm going to select over here on my toolbox the eraser tool. I'm going to make it a soft brush with a soft edge. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to carefully start erasing. Notice that it's showing through to the hallway. I'm going to carefully erase this so that we don't see that extra stuff behind the zebra. One tip when you're doing this is let your mouse up frequently so that you can undo if you make a mistake. If I'm cutting this out all with one click of the mouse and I accidentally cut off the zebra's nose, now I have to undo all of that. If I do this a little bit at a time, get it how I want it, and let the mouse up, now if I mess up I don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. Notice if I zoom back out to 100, that doesn't look too bad. We're starting to see just the zebra's nose, and it could look like the zebra's actually standing there in the hallway. Alright, I didn't want to put anybody to sleep watching me trim off every bit of that background, but you can see here I've cleaned it up all the way around the zebra, and that looks pretty good to me, that the zebra could be standing there in the hallway. Now for the assignment, it's going to actually have you add another layer and another animal. If you want to get creative and get some pictures off the internet, I just want to give you a tip. First of all, get them from Pics for Learning, because we want to make sure you're using pictures that are not copyrighted. Notice that in this example, that zebra isn't too bad of a size for that hallway. If you notice, I could probably stamp that zebra down right there, and if you think about that being in the hallway right here, it's not a bad size. But notice something. This is very important when you are editing pictures. Notice that right now that zebra is zoomed at 33.3%. My hallway, on the other hand, is at 66.7%. Let's say that I put these at the same percentage. Let's go with 50%. There's my hallway. Now look at the zebra. If I put that zebra at 50%, that zebra is going to be huge in my hallway. The zebra is way too big for that picture. That's a common problem when you're working with pictures off the internet. I don't want to go into this in too much detail, but I will tell you that if you go to Image and Scale Image, you can shrink that zebra picture. I'm going to just guess that probably a 50% change here will work. And now I have a picture that is also 50%, and there is the hall at 50%, and I think I can work with that zebra. Okay, now again, you're not going to have to scale the images if you use the ones that I gave you, but some of you will want to be creative, and I think that's good. Just keep in mind, sometimes you have to shrink the pictures.